Okay, just really quick. I'm gonna talk about the situation in Iran, mostly. I mean, we can look at these other countries. First, Singapore, we got some good news, zero new cases. So I was really doubting Singapore there at the beginning, but it looks like they managed to get this thing under control. And I've been looking over some reports on some of the efforts they're taking. They are not only quarantining people who they suspect have it or who have confirmed for it, they also find all their close contacts and quarantine them as well, which is what you should be doing. That's exactly what you need to be doing. If somebody has coronavirus, find everybody they made contact with, put them in quarantine. Period. End of story. That's the only way you can contain this. And it looks like Singapore has been doing that. And I predicted they would have a major burst outbreak here in the next couple of weeks. It doesn't seem like it happened. And it might not happen because they're taking preemptive measures here to prevent the spread of coronavirus in their country. So far things have been looking good in Singapore. Still, this is their first day to have zero cases, so we really need to keep an eye on them, kind of see where it goes from there. Japan, another 12 cases. Who knows what's going to happen with Japan? It can go either way. Korea, only 161 new cases. That's down from the 200 and something we saw yesterday, so good news? I don't know. But the reason we're seeing so many cases in Korea so fast is because Korea is actually being diligent and transparent about the situation in their country. They're honestly reporting their numbers. That's why their numbers are rising so much faster than a lot of other countries, because some countries are just not being honest about how many coronavirus cases they have. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that Korea is reporting so many cases. It's just showing that they're being honest. And then this situation here with Iran, and it says 15 new cases, 43 total, 11 deaths. I believe it's higher, somewhere around 15 or something. But even if we went with that 11 number, this is why the situation in Iran is terrifying. So let's do some math. Let's just go with the official report of 11 deaths. I've heard rumors that it's at least 50. But let's say 11, right? We have a 2% mortality rate for coronavirus. So 11 times 100 divided by 2, right? That's 550 cases of coronavirus. To get 11 deaths, you'll need about 600 coronavirus cases. So we can round up. I'll round up. Because, their medical response has been slow. So the mortality rate is probably a little higher than 2%. But that 600 cases, that we can mathematically imply that they have, those are cases where they've had coronavirus for probably the past month and a half, right? And this whole time they've been spreading it, and Iran has had no idea. Just like 2 days ago, they found out that they had coronavirus in their country, and they're like, oh. Right? Because Iran didn't, people were probably getting sick and having symptoms, but nobody thought twice about it because they're thinking, oh, well, coronavirus isn't here in Iran. So they didn't go see a doctor. They just continued about their daily lives. I think somebody finally died, and they're like, oh, crap. And then they start checking for coronavirus, and all of a sudden they start finding all these cases of coronavirus. Iran's response to this was very, very slow, partly due to complacency, partly due to the fact that they just didn't expect it to be in their country. And that's how it's going to happen in other countries too. There's some countries out there like, oh, well, we've had 0 cases of coronavirus so far. So it's just when someone gets sick, their first thought isn't going to be coronavirus. It happened in Korea. That woman, they twice asked her, the one who went to the church and basically created an epidemic in Korea. Twice they asked her to get checked for coronavirus, but she said, I haven't been traveling internationally. There's no way I can have coronavirus. Turns out, she had coronavirus, and she's a super spreader. Good job. So, wherever you are, don't be complacent about the possibility of coronavirus being in your country or even you having coronavirus. Even if there are 0 reported cases of coronavirus where you are, you might be the first reported case. and you got it from someone else who didn't know they had it. We're seeing cases of people who are asymptomatic. They don't ever show any signs, but they have coronavirus. And these people are spreaders, right? Because they don't, there's no indication that they're sick. So they don't even go see a doctor, but they're just spreading it around. And this is how viruses like to spread. And so that's why the situation in Iran can be absolutely terrifying. Because 600 cases, that was how many cases they had about a month and a half ago. How many cases they have today is probably exponentially higher than that. Probably much more than double. So this 43 that we're seeing, we're like, 43, that's not so bad. No, it's probably worse in Iran than it is in Korea. Just using mathematical projection, I can safely say it's worse in Iran than it is in Korea, because Korea has been more diligent in finding these cases and reporting them than Iran has. So, yeah. Or the alternative is that Iran has a mutation that is just super, super deadly, which is even more terrifying than there being, 3,000 cases in Iran. Because if they now have a super deadly variant in their country, and that spreads, well, the world's screwed, But more than likely, I assume that Iran just is underreporting, and their response has been slow, and there's thousands of people in Iran that they just haven't discovered who have coronavirus. And so what's going to happen is that Iran's going to continue to underreport numbers, or they're going to start reporting tons and tons of cases over the next few days. I suspect they're going to continue to underreport numbers because, they're an authoritarian regime just like China, and their transparency is near zero, and we probably can't have much confidence in what they report. I would have a lot more confidence in what Korea is reporting because it seems like they're being honest. So, yeah, and then I've been looking at the numbers here. Oh, and also another thing that I've noticed about Iran. Let me see what this website here. This is Worldometer. If we look at, where were they talking about Iran? Afghanistan, right? First case in Afghanistan, Kuwait, Bahrain, a citizen from Bahrain in Iran, 3 new cases, all returning from Iran, right? We had a case in Canada where someone was coming from Iran. I guarantee you it's not coming from the 43 cases of coronavirus they have in their country. Multiple countries. We're seeing countries popping up left and right where people are coming from Iran and they're being found to have coronavirus, right? And same thing was happening in China. China was reporting, we only have 40 cases. All of a sudden, you have countries all over the world where people have coronavirus who came from China. Iran is another epicenter for coronavirus because they're not controlling it. Korea is at least trying to control it, right? I'm not saying you should travel to Korea, but because Korea is making the effort to control it, people are alert about Korea, right? And so it's not going to spread as easily from Korea. Iran is another situation kind of like they had in China. They're lying about their numbers. They're lying about the number of cases they have, and that's why it's spreading. So yeah, this is what I want to show you. Canada, Lebanon, Kuwait, Oman, and Iraq have all confirmed cases of travelers from Iran, right? You're not going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different countries getting coronavirus from your country if you only have 43 cases in your country. Mathematically, that's improbable. So we know it is much higher than 43, probably in the several thousands at least. So yeah, don't go to Iran. And again, Iran is going to be another spreader, just like China. China spread it to the world. Somebody from China went to Iran. Now Iran is spreading it to the world. So we got to be very diligent and vigilant about individuals who come out of Iran and Korea and Japan, and I would say Singapore too. The situation in Singapore, in my mind, is still a question mark. Looks like they've done a really good job so far, so kudos to them. But I would still be careful about Singapore. And it's just, we can look at this Worldometer gives you also a total 80,000 cases. We can view by country, right? China, South Korea, Diamond Princess, yeah, whatever. Italy 231. According to this, the WHO report has a different number than the WHO report number is always lower. This has 128 with 48 new confirmed cases today. That's still pretty bad. Italy is a EU nation. I said UN last time. No, it's an EU nation. Open borders for Europe. So if it starts to spread through Europe, that's it. It's in Europe because it's open borders all through Europe. There's no containment there. So that's something we have to be worried about too. So just be leery about Europe in general now that it's in a European country, European nation. And yeah, that's about all. Thanks for watching.